morning, 5th grade. Okay, we are looking at spelling unit 29, and we're adding ION to words, and it changes the meaning a little bit as far as going from like an action to a noun. And so what we're going to look at is what do we do with these, and what are the rules that we have. Well, if our base word ends in an E, then we want to drop the E and add the ION. So if I had the word regulate, if I have the word regulate, it ends in the E, so I'm going to drop that E, and I'm going to add the ION after dropping the E, so now I have regulation. So we went from regulate to regulation. We drop the E and we add the ending. If it's a word that doesn't end in E, like act, I have the word act, then I just add the ION to the end of it. So then I have action. And you can see how it changes the sound of the word too. Act, action. It's not, we get that shun sound at the end now. Regulate, regulation. So that kind of changes that ending sound to it. So you're going to have to watch for the words that you have to change. Now what's nice is you have the word itself as a spelling word, and then the ION word as a spelling word. The word itself and then the ION word. When you're looking at page 180 in your spelling book, and it says no change on the top, what you're going to do is on the short on the one line, you'd write the word act, and on the line below it, you'd write the word action. Okay, so you'd write the word act and then action. On the bottom section where you drop the E, you'd write the word regulate, and then you'd write the word regulation. Okay, regulate, regulation. So the top section, you'd have words that don't change, you just add the ION. On the bottom section, you would have to drop the E word and then how it looks after you drop the E. Okay, and if you notice, you only have 29 words this week because in your challenge words, you have animate and animation and fascinate and fascination. To have an odd number would be to have a word without a base word, so you'd have to have an even number of words there. And so instead of having 5 challenge words, you have 4 challenge words, and that's why you end up with the 29 words there this week. 181 is just as it says, adding words to different things, looking at let's look at 3 through 6. So it says to write act and action, and then write the pair of words that have a prefix added to act and action. So you want to look for your other set of spelling words that have the word act and action in it, and write those on 5 and 6. On the top of page 182, I want to talk to you about that, okay? Because syllable scramble on the bottom of 182, you're just taking 2 or 3 of the syllables and writing a word. You're leaving 1 extra syllable out. And then there's 10 misspelled words on page 183. But on the top of 182, we look at primary stress and secondary stress. Primary stress and secondary stress. So you have in the little box there on your in your book, you have the word population, or populate. Sorry, populate. It looks like this. Okay, populate. Right next to it, you have the spelling or the sounding of what it sounds like here. You have pop, that looks like this, the Y with the upside down E, and then you have the L-A-T like that, and then this is a little bit darker than the other ones. All right. Now, I know you can't see it well once I colored it in like that or darkened it, but this is going to give you what you're supposed to do here. All right, so you have the word and you have the pronunciation of the word. A stressed syllable that's primary stress. The primary stress, both ones that are stressed, anything that's stressed is going to have the accent mark. That's our accent mark. So both this syllable and this syllable have an accent mark on them. Okay, so they're both considered stressed syllables. Now a primary stress is the one that's accented more. It's a little bit more of a punch to it. So in populate, the stressed syllable, the primary stressed syllable is in that bolder, it's going to be in that bolder text. It's going to have the accent mark, but it's out of these two, this one's darker than that one. So this one's going to be primary. And then this syllable here is going to be secondary. Okay, primary is the dark bold, secondary has the accent mark but is not that bold. So when I look at the pieces of my word here, populate, I can figure out that the primary stress is going to be pop, and that my secondary stress is going to be late. So pop, you late. And this is exactly how you need to do with your other words that you're going to do: regulate, regulation, population, imitation, televised, and decoration. When you look them up in the back, you'll see something just like this. And you'll decide, you'll first split it out into syllables. So like regulate, reg, you, late. It's going to look like that. That's how you'll write it on line number 1. Then you have to look in the back of your spelling dictionary and figure out which one is the bolder, the primary one, and which one's the secondary one. Circle the secondary, underline the primary. That can help you. Circle secondary, underline the primary. Okay, so underline primary, circle secondary. And that's what you're going to do for your 1 through 6 at the top of page 182. Look them up in the back, see which ones are bolded with the accent mark. That's going to be underlined. The one that has the accent mark not bold, going to be circled because it's secondary. Okay, and that's your spelling unit for this week.